I do not want muscle. But I work out and then look. Ha! Renegade rows. Yeah. What's happening? My name is Albert. Welcome to another workout with this 61-year-old. And so today I'm introducing a new format, which I am going to now do 2 videos in one. I am going to work out, which is going to be 1 video, and then I am going to present a topic, which will be video number 2, all in 1 video. And all you have to do is go to the chapters. If you just want to listen to what I have to say about fitness, is not rocket science, bro. It's not. And then if you want to take a look at what front burpees and then backwards burpees look like, and you want to analyze it and go check it out and go, wow, you could take a look at through the videos and see how I go about forward and backwards burpees. And so, man, the next thing I want to say is that I analyzed this channel right here. I put it through the database of YouTube. I did the whole thing. And the channel is in good standing because I thought something had to be wrong. I thought I was shadow banned, ghosted or something like that because I get 0 engagement. And it came up that I got 0 engagement, and I have no freaking idea why, except for that this channel here is like 15 years old. I opened it up and abandoned it, so it's probably freaking lost in the grid somewhere where, I don't know, but that's the only thing I could come up with. So if you came this far, just holler, just say, hey bro, just for the algorithm, man, because I need the help, because maybe there's some people out there that could benefit from what I have to say. And so now I am gonna start with a topic that freaking exercising is not rocket science, man. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is read this. I have to read this thing right here so that you can freaking just listen to me and then see if you can like vibe with me. Vibe any way you can, okay? I'm gonna start.
When protein synthesis exceeds protein breakdown, it results in muscle hypertrophy, a process that involves repair damage and adding new components to muscle fibers. This leads to new sarcomeres being formed in parallel, adding to fiber thickness,
increasing force, and potentially in series, adding to fiber length, changing contraction speed, contributing to increased muscle mass and strength over time, bro.
Bro, you do not need to know that to freaking build muscle, man. It's freaking not that complicated, bro. But the business has made it complicated. I know why. They have to keep selling it, and they have to make it so science and so you could buy into it. I get it. That's freaking really cool. But at the same freaking token, man, someone has to come in like me and say, bro, it is not freaking science, bro. You don't have to go through that. You do not have to know that, bro. I'm from the old school, bro. We have muscle before they even put those words together, bro. And so that takeaway could make you just not think that it's so complicated, because someone that listens to that and then with the rest that I'm going to talk about, it'll discourage you. And so I'm trying to like get you to go, yeah, bro, I was jumping and hopping and skipping when I was a child, so what's the big deal? So what I'm going to do now is get straight to the forward and burpees with Renegade rows and freaking play around and then get back to the topic. Let's get to it. All right, so here we go. Gonna start with the Renegade rows, bro. Let's do it, bro. Backwards burpee. Renegade rows. Right, man, so I already started to sweat. The exercise is freaking awesome. It works so many muscles, man. I think all of them. And so, okay, I want to say something. Fitness is really non-verbal if you think about it. It's a freaking physical endeavor. I'm going to run to here, from here to there. And so I run from here to there, and so that requires the action to do so. Running from here to there does not require an explanation. But they've made it so. They've made it to where you count, a certain amount of steps. And when they say count an amount of steps, I'm wondering, where's the body? Where's the body's capability? Where's the body's potential? Because maybe you could walk from here to over there. But because they say walk from here to there, and you're counting from here to there, and it's whatever steps, you're limiting yourself. Because you could probably walk a lot more. And so when you don't get muscle, or you don't achieve whatever you're trying to achieve, it's because whatever you're doing is calculated. I've done this exercise that was pretty intense, and this scientific buff came in, and instead of taking a look at the intricacies, because it required a lot of balance, a lot of core strength, and the only thing he said is, oh yeah, it's an endurance exercise. And this is what we have freaking narrowed fitness down to. Oh yeah, this is the power. Oh no, that doesn't build the hypertrophy of the nanowebers, and that's what fitness. Something so engaging that could be so much fun has turned into a science project. And I'm saying, I'm not listening to none of that. Most people my age, 61, won't do that. Why? Because it's already written in the futuristic books from the science guys. Oh, when you turn 50, you should only do this, and you should only do that, and it's holding people back. But it can't hold me back because I'm moving to my capabilities. Like this exercise, I can't say it's easy or hard. I just did the exercise. That's another thing. I'm not going to coin an exercise hard or easy just because some people may not be able to do it. Because the people that can't do it is because you haven't got into doing it. If you look at a freaking circus performer, they just didn't do that on a whim. They practiced, they were supported, they studied, they follow people, and they said, okay, in order to do that tumble like this in the air and do this and that, we have to work off of this, and they strapped them to something safe in order to get them there. And so if this seems hard, you're already cutting yourself short by saying it's hard. You want to dig in and say, okay, I'll start with the Renegade rows, and then I'll see from where I could take it and just do the front portion for a while. And then after that, you can play separately with the backwards somehow. And you can try to use your own wits, the same wits that you had as a child, where you looked at stuff and you had to grab things and you had to work things out, and you did fall, and from that fall you learned. You can still maybe bring all that back so that it can be there for you now without the need of science interjecting that they know for you, because that's pretty much what science is trying to say. Science is trying to say, the fitness science world is trying to say, you do not know, and so you need us to tell you exactly what to do, and you do this at this time and that time. And so the calculated measures is what is really, really doing a severe amount of damage to people, because they really don't know who they're dealing with. Like, I don't know who I'm dealing with. I can't train you. I can't say a damn thing about anybody because I do not know your potential. I do not know where you're ground from. You may be a freaking athlete since you were 5 years old, and so you got a lot to teach me. I'll watch you. Get it? Or you may be someone who's really out of shape that may want to at least inch into it in any way you can. So I don't know who I'm talking to, but they think they do. When you turn 50, what kind of a 50? what kind of a 50 are you talking about? So those general terms, you maybe want to catch those type of things and go, how do they know? and the circle meals and the reading the fibers and the figure when you break down the things, bro. Your body should be able to, we should be able to allow our bodies to do what it does and leave it alone. Get out the way, do the work. Then let the body do what it does. We know enough. We know so much. You protein and you eat like this, a certain amount of this, and you can experiment. There's a lot of people getting in shape on carbs. A lot of people get in shape just on protein. A lot of people get in shape just on fasting. And so it's freaking, it's so vast. I can't believe that these people are narrowing it down, which makes it worse. When you narrow it down, that means that you're only subject to what you know. And so that was enough of a rest for me. I'm going to go back into my second round of these forward and backwards burpees with the Renegade row. So let's get to it. All right, so here we go. Little get down. Yeah. Yeah. Take a look, I'm sweating. Yo, bro, this is real, bro. Real for 61-year-old working out, bro. And so, okay, I already went over that. Exercise is not rocket science, right? I went over number 2, which is true exercise is nonverbal. You really think about it. You're moving your body, you're swimming, you're running, you're lifting weights. It's nonverbal. It's you with your muscles. And so now, number 3 is children, bro. You can learn a lot from children. Don't undermine them because they're young. Really take a look. Go to a playground. That's what I do. I play with kids. I take a look at them. And this is what's happening. There's nothing calculated with children, bro. Nothing. Then now Saturday's cardio and Monday's universal chest day and on Wednesdays leg days, whatever. They're moving their body and they're following everyone and they're doing what everyone else is doing. That's the job of a child, which should be the job of us. You should look at this exercise and go and observe it, analyze it, see what you can pick up from it. Not according to the thing and you're gonna get it. Come on, man. And so children, they're running sporadically and they're doing it within the scope of what they're working with, which is their 600 plus muscles or whatever, how many muscles they have at that age. I don't know. But when they're moving and you watch them carefully, there's no limit. There's no step counting. There's no clock. There's no calculations. They're not counting to 10. And that's our problem, that we have made it calculated. And we think that because calculations is from science, that everything has to be calculated, and I couldn't tell you how much that's freaking hurting you. I know it, man, because I think I'm in really good shape for a 61-year-old to tell the difference from the scope, from my surroundings and everything. And from my surroundings, I'm the only one that can play in a huge playground with freaking platforms, with trampolines, with lots of jumping. I don't know anyone, bro. And they tried to stop me one time from playing at the playgrounds because I'm a senior citizen. But when they saw what I could do, sad for them, bro. But that's the calculated issues. You know, you're 60, you can't do that, and so you can't do this, and these are the science-bound information. Because that comes from when you turn this age. And when you turn that age, it's a bunch of nonsense. So children is the huge stepping stone so that you could tap into to your childhood. Because what I did was that I removed all the divisions. Baby, child, teenager, adult, whatever comes freaking after that, I don't care, bro. I am not going to partition. What I know is that I've been one flow, and I've interrupted that flow by giving this life a number. So when you turn 30, and I follow that, when I was 30, there was a certain age where I stopped going out to clubs because, oh, that's for the younger kids. Come on, man. And when there was an older guy at the club, people would look at him and kind of was amazed. I remember one time this 70 or 80-year-old old man was at a club at 2 o'clock in the morning. He was dancing in the middle of the dance floor. He had people around him looking at him, cheering him on and kind of shocked. Why? Because someone that age is not supposed to be there. Why? Because it's already written in our blueprint that you're supposed to be dancing in these clubs at a certain age, and that at a certain age, you're supposed to cut it out. And that's freaking terrible because they're limiting our capabilities. They're telling us what we can or can't do. And that's freaking science saying it. Science is saying that. And I'm saying, you know what? Take a little information. Like when I read that nonsense about how to build muscle scientifically, if you like just that science jumbo, whatever, okay, maybe you want to memorize it to impress your friends, bro. But memorizing that, whatever I read, ain't going to build you muscle. You have to exercise in order to build muscle, man. It's freaking simple. But they've made it so complicated. And, you know, I watch them because these guys, they set up whatever they say for their next sale. And so they go, well, the new science is and the new study is. And then so this here falls apart, which I don't call it science. I call it a current observation about something. Because science, the way they make it sound, is like it's the freaking ultimate word. Like, this is what we found. This is it. This is the science. And so what they try to do is that they try to undermine everyone else by saying, we have the science, so you have to listen to us because this is according to science. So whatever you have to say goes down the drain because it's according to science. But then 2 months later, the science changes, which means it's not science, which means it's just a current observation about something. So they've come this far so far, and they found this out. And now they found out a whole bunch of other stuff. Like I just read this new thing where creatine, if you take more now, it does a whole bunch of more things because of science stuff. Now, that should be under a current observation about creatine. Never a conclusive science, because science makes it sound that it's conclusive, like that's it, it's done, it's defined, like we have the science, we found the science. I'm the guy, I study science, and so I'm going to deliver you the conclusion. And that's freaking terrible because it's never the actual conclusion. And so back to exercising is not rocket science means that you could put all that aside and you could say, what's going on with this body? What can it do? What it can't? You have to figure that out. Get a trainer, sure, that's freaking awesome. Get him to show you some things. Be loose about it. Let him follow him in any way you can, but have an open mind while it. Try to work it out so that you can be free from him and exercise like a child would without needing him forever. And if he's not there, you're not working out because you know you need your trainer, because that which is freaking also terrible. I know people that actually won't work out unless their trainer's around, and that's freaking horrible because that means they never tapped into anything. You're going to the gym for 5 years with a trainer, you haven't learned enough to work out on your own. That's pretty much what it's saying, you know. And so this guy right here, 61 years old, bro, he doesn't need anyone freaking bro. Working out like this, bro, forward and backwards, I'm working every freaking muscle. And I'm freaking taxing. Right now, my chest is taxed. And so I took a long enough break. I'm going to go ahead and now attack set number 3 of forward and backwards burpees, including the Renegade row. So let's get to it. Alright, so here we go, ready to face another freaking set. Let's do it, baby. Yeah. So man, okay, so about the burpees, right? I did the full-on burpees with the Renegade row until I had to stop because my chest is already fried. And so what I did is I started to eliminate some portions so that I can continue with whatever I had left. What I had left was legs and core strength, and so I continued with that until I couldn't go anymore. And as you can see, this right here is the most important part for me to see when I play this video back as my homework, because this is my homework to take a look at how the 61-year-old is getting on. And that's pretty much it. No science necessary. And so what I'm gonna do is present number 4, which is hating to do fitness. I don't like it. I can't stand fitness like many around me, right? Now watch this. That's culturally inherited, bro. The actual idea to not like fitness, you inherited, bro. Let me tell you where I inherited it, bro. From the army, bro. I never been to the army, but my brother did. My brother associated push-ups with punishment, and he used to punish me with doing push-ups whenever I was a naughty boy. And because it was associated with punishment, I saw it as punishment, and I was like, I have to do 50? Yeah, give me 50. And I went, oh man, all that was culturally inherited, all of it, because you asked me to do 50, now I'll give you 100. Look at what I'm doing here. I'm not freaking, I can't do it, it's the punishment. But if you grew up associating exercise with suffering, with struggling, with punishment, then you're going to carry that with you, and your chances of working out is going to be 0. You got to cut that out. It is not punishment. It is not a struggle. It is not, bro. It's not suffering, bro. I'm not suffering here working out at all. 0. I'm not suffering at all. I'm having a dandy time. The sweat, the breathing, and everything is freaking dandy. But this shows a lot how the influences of culture can impact us to the point where we can live not liking something because there's an association placed there before us. No, cut it out, bro. It's not that freaking, has absolutely no suffering whatsoever. Even the bodybuilders, bro, they freaking getting off on it. You have to see them. They're straining and they're doing a lot of stuff, but they're pushing them. They're trying to push their bodies to a certain limit, and they want that. And I've yet to hear. I think they said it because it was culturally handed down to them, like, no pain, no gain, and blood, sweat, and tears. I think these type of things are just the freaking culturalistic slogans, the response that we inherited. But it is not freaking no suffering whatsoever, bro. It is not. And so let's say if it is, let's leave it to those guys that are doing such a freaking load. Like, I'm not a bodybuilder. This is not a bodybuilding channel. So I'm not pushing nor taking my body to those extents. So I'll leave the suffering to them. You go suffer, bro. You have a party suffering, bro. I'm going to be fine here doing the exercises safely, with no joint pain, with no back pain, with nothing at all, because I'm working within my capability level. I'm taking my body to where it could go. No more, no less. When I could do more is because my body is ready to do more, which means that these weights, the weight itself will tell me, okay, you can lift more, because I'm having no trouble lifting them. That is the natural progression that we should tap into. Not on Friday do an extra 5, and then on Saturday you have to do an extra 5, because if your body's not ready for that extra 5 on Saturday, you're gonna hurt something because your body's not capable. And so you're gonna put your body through something that is not ready for, or because it's already a blueprint of a workout that has been calculated and been handed to your body, which you don't even know. And that's the problem. That's what happens when science kicks in, and they're setting you up with a design, with a protocol, with a method, with a practice, and that is what's freaking screwing things up, bro. And so, anyway, yo, this is freaking great. This is great because this is an assurance to my future workouts, bro. This is like what's gonna hold me up for my future workouts, that I think this way and I carry myself this way, and I don't want muscle, right? I do not want muscle. But I work out and then look to see how they paid off. Like, okay, so I did these exercises, right? Look. I did the exercise first, and then later, at the end of the month, I take a look. That's it. And so it's backwards. It's not that I want muscle and I'm going to work out for the muscle, which is dangerous, because I'm going to now push the muscle because I'm trying to get the muscle to grow at a calculated measure, an idea, like at the top of the month I want this much, and that's dangerous. All right, so here we go, bro. Let's see where I take this. Okay, ready? Yeah. 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 So to go over what I just did, right? I just assumed and allowed my body to tell me, okay, what's up? So I even dropped to my knees to get one of the push-ups in, which is fine, which is kind of like a drop set. And then I went ahead and assumed the forward and backwards burpees without doing the push-up, because my chest is already shot. So right there, I got a nice chest workout. And so number 5 for this, right, is this whole power of the mind nonsense. Power of the mind, power of the mind. You can use the power of the mind, and that comes from science, because science has narrowed down that there's a certain power of the mind, and if you use the power of the mind, and they talk a lot about the power of the mind, right? And so utilizing the power of the mind is fantastic, because outbound, what it can do with technology and everything we built and everything outbound is really nice. But inbound, it's not working out. The reason why it's not working out is because this power of the mind is shattering people's knees, their hips, they're back, they're in wheelchairs, they're unable to at 60 years old play with their children because they can't walk correctly, because during a long run, the body fell apart in the process because of the power of the mind, and people have broken their knees, every foot in their bone, every bone in their foot for the matter, and that's what they got from the power of the mind. And so you take a look at the outcome. The outcome of the power of the mind is not so promising if the power of the mind is going to put someone in a wheelchair. And so this power of the mind I'm hearing everywhere, and I'm reading the comments. Yeah, bro, more power to the mind, and they're getting applauded while they can't run like they used to, or because of the power of the mind. And yeah, bro, it's really cool, bro. This guy's knees they freaking collapsed, bro. They freaking came off the socket because of heavy squat lifting, and the knees came off the freaking socket on stage. And yeah, bro, you know, that's the mind over matter, power of the mind, bro. And that is another thing that's thrown in there within the whole scientific thing. And I'm not seeing any. There's a few guys like Dorian Yates that cut it out, and he got into yoga and he learned his lesson and he's taking care of himself. Frank Zane is another one who talked about that. He got into a whole bunch of herbs, and he talked a lot about making sure that he's injury free, and he takes care of himself in retrospect because he learned so much from that sport, which is so heavy. He learned about it, and then now he's putting a better foot forward. I don't know what's going on with him, but I still do follow Dorian Yates. And so these are the things that you want to just stop to think about, because you may be one that's, the power of the mind, bro. Yeah, the power of the mind. And yeah, when you're young, you can apply the power of the mind and take your body to wow, it can do incredible things. But there's that certain point where you have to say, this power of the mind now is working against a body that's aging. This power of the mind is working against joints that are already taxed. This power of the mind is not capable like it was before. I mean, this power of the mind is working against a body that is not as capable before. So you have to be kind of really smart. This is why I record my videos and I take a look at what's going on, because I do not want to be, saying, damn, how much do I like to play and I can't do it anymore? No, so that's not going to happen to a guy like me. So this is my last set here, and then I have another closing idea with this nonsense of exercising is rocket science, which is not. If you heard me closely, you can just work from where you're at. Unless you're one of them, then you'll be like, oh no, science is the science, and then which means that you're just spewing words, bro. Okay, you want to feel good about it? Have a party, bro. Look in the mirror and say all the big words you want, bro. But in reality, you have to face yourself, your real self. And so I'm gonna get to my last set, and so let's get to it. All right, let's see what I got here, baby. I don't got much. Oh boy, yes. Okay. There you go. That was what I needed, bro. You see right there, look, it right there meant that my body couldn't continue. So I'm not gonna press it. Got a nice workout. Work the chest, work the lats, work the deltoids, work everything. Legs, core, everything. Calves too. And so what am I going to close with? Okay. I'm going to close with this, that mostly these scientific buffs, because they think they know everything. They just look at an exercise and they, because of their science background, how much they know, they elaborate on it without never even doing it. And so I couldn't tell you how wrong they've been, because there have been times where I have tweaked an exercise and felt muscle soreness in places that I never thought existed, bro. Like there's a bicep thing in there. I was doing partial biceps in a way that was very different. I felt pain inside, man. No scientific anything could know that beforehand. That's almost trying to predict. And so it's a shame, it's a damn shame to see that, and I get it, they have to know everything, because if not, their status will go down. They have to play the role, because if not, then they're not as smart. And so if they're quoted a scientist or a doctor, then they're going to be given that status to know everything. And so they feel as though they have to know everything. And if they say I don't know, which means that it throws them off the boat of what they're trying to do with their status. I get that, but that is terrible for them, and it's terrible for anyone who listens to them, because you want to try the exercise and then wait. You want to experience the exercise, take a look at the exercise, say I did this exercise, and then the next day you want to say okay. Because I've done an exercise that I thought was only for the shoulder, and my lats were freaking sore the next day. And when I took a second look, I said, yes, of course, the lats are being worked, bro. It's a freaking backwards pull down. I was doing a backwards pull down, but on the floor doing the push-ups. I was doing a press this way, so it made a lot of sense. And so my lats were freaking sore, and so I was like, that's freaking fantastic, because now I could do that. Now, don't jerk yourself by thinking, oh yeah, because of that exercise is the orthosis and it's an endurance slash, don't screw yourself like that. You can see sometimes that an exercise involves everything: endurance, strength, flexibility, balance. It includes a lot of different things depending on how you do it, because you have to be this smart. If you do an exercise fast, there's more cardio involved. If you do the exercise slow and controlled, there's more strength, because now you have to really concentrate and stuff like that. If you do it heavier and slow, then you get the strength in there. If you lighten up and you go very fast, then you get the cardio in there. It's so freaking simple that it's sad to see how much, like, this channel here is such a baby, because I'm not qualified like them, But if I had the qualifications, come on, man. So I'm trying to get you back to yourself, to your original self, without needing like outside information. You could go to them for fun, and there is great information that comes from them. Sure, I'm taking creatine. That's nice to know that you take more. I tried it. I took more. Hey. So yeah, that's really cool, but I'm not a buff for it, and I'm not going to talk about it without doing it. I'm actually taking the extra creatine just to see it. So anyway, this freaking closes a 2 video in 1 workout, which this month I'm going to see, because I am a guy who gets tired of exercises, bro. I want to do forward and backwards burpees for this entire month, and we're changing them up and making them creative, but I'm going to see how that goes. And so this closes my workout. I'm sweating. My chest is shot. My shoulders, you saw that. My lats. My legs could take more, which means that I'll put in a leg workout somewhere. And so anyway, this video comes to the close, and on to the next one. I am done.